to the Short Council. I'm your host, Trev, and here I am in week 6 with the PBD All-Stars. Jeremy on my left, Ryan on my right. Jeremy you know from the Halloween episode, Ryan you know from the Halloween episode. Frequent collaborators here at the show and at numerous others. And we're hashing it out here, taking a look at episode 6 of season 8, The Caretaker. This week, we got to see a lot more of the Danny and Clara relationship kind of budding here. How that's going, how Peter Capaldi, his doctor, becomes aware of that romance for the first time. Certainly not what he was expecting.
No, he was in fact confused about it for most, because he thought that she liked the guy that looks like Matt Smith.
There was a deliberate effort, we all kind of noticed it in the promos last week, about this guy who looks suspiciously like Matt Smith.
What did he teach, chemistry or something?
I'm not sure.
But it's
some science.
He had a great comb over though.
Yeah, he had a science comb over.
Science comb over.
Wavy.
Very natty bow tie.
And also I thought the guy kind of looked a little bit like Peter Capaldi advanced in age, or when he was a younger man. Somehow like this person that he thought Clara was dating was a mashup of Peter Capaldi and Matt Tennant. Talking about mashups.
Oh, lovely.
I gotta say, I was really impressed with this episode. I didn't think I was going to be. It kind of took me by surprise. I think the moment that I really took this seriously was when Danny came into the TARDIS with the invisibility watch on and revealed himself to the Doctor.
Yeah, he's like, he already knows I'm here.
That
was cool.
Danny has, I think, said the phrase "I'm not stupid" about like 2 or 3 times so far in the series before this episode.
And there's been like 4 episodes? Yeah.
Right. I think it's pretty good that they, made it so that the Doctor was certainly savvy, and he was savvy as to the game the Doctor was playing. So let's just fucking get on with this.
I felt like they hinted to a lot of things there. A couple of different times in this episode they hinted to a couple of different things. Mostly future companion stuff, I feel. I've heard from the internets that there's a possibility that Danny will become the companion or like be there with him and Clara, but I also heard that Clara's supposed to leave, like in the Christmas episode.
Right, and then he's allegedly going to be staying, which I'd be in favor of personally. We've been calling for a male companion for some time here. Let the Doctor bro down with somebody, and I think that last night definitely put Danny in a position where he's capable of standing up to the Doctor. And frankly, last night I felt like he really actually kind of got the better of the Doctor. Yeah. At the end of it, I
he
think
saved the day in the episode.
But even in that moment where the Doctor was like, "Get out of here, soldier boy," and whatnot, and Danny started treating him like an officer, "Sir, yes, sir," and being the soldier that he's saying I am. But if I'm a soldier, what does that make you? See, he's an officer. I fucking loved that because
that was great.
He without fear confronted the whole situation with how he was being treated by this guy, and I think was also picking up kind of some keenness to his character. I think he's right. He is
the line, "I've served under men like him. Be careful," or whatever.
They'll bring up the most in you. They'll bring up the best in you, and they'll ask you to do things that you never thought that you'd be able to do.
This may have already been discussed, and not to derail the conversation or anything, but I would be disappointed solely for the fact that the actress that plays Claire is hot. I'm sorry, and I do not find the Hollywood, the TV actors, but
somebody shares your opinion.
That ended up for me at least being the best episode of the season so far. Just in relationship dynamics and dialogue and
they've been
interactions.
getting better and better.
The last one was kind of cool though.
Yeah,
I like that. I'm sorry, the whole we wanted to. I just like the whole thing. I know you guys talked about it already, but I like the whole thing of we wanted to send him like, what, into next week? But oops, we sent him. It's like, ooh, that's, yeah. But anyway, but I don't know. I like it. That's, again, it's kind of weird for me. I've never really gotten into Doctor Who before, and now I am. Not just because, yeah.
Of Jenna Coleman, but...
That's her name? Okay, I'm going to have to write that. Hang on here. Wait for it. We gotta...
And I guess we're confronting in a way that I was kind of hoping that they would, the whole how the doctor feels about soldiers and everything. I mean, it was pretty thoroughly telegraphed that they were going to be.
Ozzy loves a squatty.
Sorry.
But I mean, that was something that they dealt with in Into the Dalek, his disappreciation of soldiers. I'm really surprised that she is letting him as off the hook for his disdain and mistreatment of soldiers, because Clara is aware of his past as the war doctor. I'm pretty sure, you guys, and if that being the case, the case,
right, and like him dealing with UNIT. Or,
sure.
Like, come on.
Well, I mean, she's threaded throughout all the time and space, and she, a version of her even fucking, was around in the UNIT days or whatever. But
right.
So I guess I'm just surprised that she lets him get away with it so much, where it's like, it's no good to hate soldiers just because you hate that part of yourself, Doctor.
Well, right, and I think that might be, the Doctor is, in a lot of ways, a loner.
Mm-hmm.
Soldiers, right, and soldiers are as a rule, unless you're in, special ops or whatever, and even then, you have a chain of command, there's comrades and all that, and I think that would be difficult for someone like the Doctor to understand that kind of mentality. A lot of times it's like an unquestioning, we perceive it, or someone that is a loner, and those of us that aren't in the military structure perceive it as kind of like a robot mentality.
Right.
And think about how many robots the Doctor fights. You
right.
know,
Sure.
In a way, I'm sure.
Holy cow!
Mind blown, I guess. I don't know. But like Daleks, there's and that's definitely a part of the soldiering.
Well, arguably the thing about that makes the Daleks so dangerous is that they are so single-minded and looking for orders and don't question them and so forth. So I mean, his hatred for it. Yeah, I think it's definitely rooted in his how he feels about himself. And about how he sees his enemies, but and then of course how he sees his enemies is deeply tied into how he sees himself, as what they talked about in Into the Daleks as well. So, this is I'm starting to like this introspective, kind of arc that we're getting into here.
He's
with
trying
the
to
Doctor.
figure himself out some more.
I'm gonna have to admit something shocking here. I really like Jenna Coleman in this episode. I thought that the one part that I didn't like, because it seemed way too preposterous for an unlikable character to try to pull off, but I really liked her in this episode. She was kind of she was operating as a experienced companion of the Doctor. Like Danny even pointed out, when he told you that what you needed to do, you didn't hesitate, you just did it.
Yeah.
And she fucking led this fucking alien killbot through the school, chasing after her, firing not stun guns,
explosive lasers,
explosive laser cannons,
future
at her, right?
Yeah.
Definitely, and she handled it like a boss.
Yeah.
And but the one part, of course, one of my favorite parts of the episode, actually, just because how weird and awkward it was when she was trying to convince Danny that it was a part of some play that they were putting on. So was Saved by the Bell?
Yeah, that
sucked
was a little.
That was
a little.
not because she sucks.
Well.
And you're just watching Danny,
Yeah, he's just like, dude, come on, no. What? Like you said.
Speaking of future weapons, let's talk about that killbot.
Sure. Let's talk about talking about the killbot.
Why was it walking? You think that like a hyper advanced alien race that created this or whatever would have the sense to put it on something more stable than spider legs?
Psychological warfare.
It's scarier with
scarier with spider legs.
Okay.
I guarantee you there's like some fucking alien scientist.
Point conceded, but still, like, the hell, come on.
No,
really?
no,
like,
I know. Legitimately, and by the way, like, you know, haven't we been told previously that the Daleks are
no, I was just gonna say, like, Daleks, and they don't walk around on spider legs. We don't know what they do.
They kind of roll.
They kind of roll or like hover.
Hover, yeah.
Like, okay, that's the thing. Like, they don't have a repulsor lift. That's some Star Wars bullshit. But still, whatever. I mean,
sure.
You
like
know.
I've said before, I'm pretty sure you could run up to a Dalek and just break the arms and stuff off of it.
Another thing I really liked about this episode is the return of the afterlife.
Yeah, you got to see Missy again.
Now, but I think the pattern may have been broke because that fella, the police officer who got gunned down by the killbot, he didn't really sacrifice himself for anything.
Honestly, I don't think they know what they're doing with this thread anymore.
I hate
Doesn't
to...
it seem that way? I don't want to have
seemed muddled.
that little confidence in it.
I know what you mean. No, I see what you're saying, but...
As a person who has written a poor story running a role-playing game, because I've done that plenty of times, I sense it there. It's broken.
Like there was a really interesting seed here that they had, and here's the thing. I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt, insofar as I think at worst right now they weren't sure how to remind everybody that it's still going on.
We are still here!
They featured Missy in the first 2 episodes, and basically taking somebody, and like they said, there was a common thread in that they had both sacrificed themselves and were greeted personally by Missy, and I think that might be like
she's too busy, isn't that?
Well, why? Number one, why is she busy? Number 2, was she not greeted personally because it was too far away from the doctor when it happened? Or was she not greeting him personally because there wasn't a sacrifice?
Yeah.
I guess I'm concerned at this point that what they're leading to, and and here's the thing. I'm going to admit something right now. We are not as good of researchers as perhaps we ought to be.
No.
There may be things being said about stuff that's said on podcasts by the producers, or secret news being reported. I ain't got time for that shit. I got time to watch the episode and talk about what you see. But I'm concerned that what this is that basically somebody privatized heaven. You know what I mean?
Ooh.
Someone was we don't have any proof that there really is an afterlife, so let's do what we can to try to create an afterlife, and we'll snatch an impression or echo or even just snatch them up before they die, some version of everybody, and then put them into this fucking they referred to it as the afterlife. He said, I personally prefer nether sphere.
Yeah, I was like, okay.
The promised land.
The promised land, of course.
Anytime you deal with that, though, that's a dicey, At least it's intriguing. We're talking about it.
Sure, we're talking about it.
So afterlife is dicey.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, when you bring it into a stream, especially a stream like Doctor Who that has time and space in it, it's like, well, where does this exist?
Well, I'm really troubled always. I got a similar kind of feeling that I'm getting from this when David Tennant met the Beast.
Yeah.
Oh,
when he met the giant devil.
Yeah.
Giant space devil. I just think that they could have probably stayed away from that. I don't need to see the Doctor fight the devil, even if it's a primordial evil that's not the actual devil, but the devil's totally based on.
Right.
That's some deep stuff.
He already fights the master is the big, who's the being that was before everything else.
Yeah.
And it's so
the universe before the universe.
Right.
Isn't that what it is?
Right.
Yeah. The great intelligence.
Yeah.
Right,
Yeah. So
that's as far as you need to go with that, I think.
Yeah. No, but then why does he need to fight the devil?
Right. And why does we have to deal with the afterlife? These questions and more hopefully will be answered in the near future as we continue to make our way through Season 8, and we continue to discuss it afterwards with you. Don't forget to leave a comment down below. Let us know about your pet fan theories about Doctor Who. Let us know about what you're interested in talking about. Hit us up with something, and we will hit you back. Thanks for watching us again tonight. Jenna Coleman's hot. And thanks for joining us for the short council. Have a good night, guys.
Peanut butter disaster.